Well, this is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio, getting here right on time. Let me see, it is about 10 till 4 when I decided I'd lie down on the couch for a 40-minute nap. And I didn't really fall asleep. I remember 4:17 a.m., so I figured, okay, 13 minutes here, I'm going to snooze. And I must have turned my alarm on my phone off without knowing it. I woke up at 5:33. I want to apologize to anybody that I passed along the way. I didn't hit you. But I had to get here on time, and I did. Barely. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Mine's going to suck. Just get that out of the way right off the bat. I actually brought, Garrett.
What do you got here?
I had my son-in-law when he went to Walgreens. I said, hey, listen, here's some money. Pick me up some Valentines. Spider-Man.
Nice.
And what do we have? Now, he picked these out. Did a lousy freaking job. You go ahead and fire Chad.
Yeah, Chad, your ass is canned. Thanks.
Spider-Man. There you go, using that ass word again. Nice. Spider-Man with lollipops.
That's early.
For the guys, I guess. And then cards and lollipops, and it looks like we're dealing with Disney princesses. Now, the question is, Garrett, do you give the princesses to the guys or the Spider-Man to the guy? What do you give what? I guess
That's
I got
a good
girls.
Question.
But I decided I will give out to members of my office and my radio show, I would give out a Valentine. I would be carrying these around with me. But there is a lollipop in each one.
Yeah, and that's key because otherwise I wouldn't want it. I'd just throw it right back at you.
It would just be a stupid little Valentine that the kids give out at school. But at least my Valentines that I'm going to be giving out today have a lollipop.
There's something tangible with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. A little bit of sugar for a sugar boost.
Yeah.
Hell, if it's a good sucker, it looks pretty good. That
is
red
it just
heart.
Like a cherry?
Cherry
yeah,
heart.
That's solid.
You, me, and Jake might just munch the hell out of these goddamn things, and no male in my law office will get a Valentine today.
Yep.
But it's kind of the whole Valentine thing has just been ruined because I overslept, and so now I'm in a rush panic. I text Sarah Jones and said, just stop at the house and pick up the box of work for your typing and everybody else's typing. Didn't even have time to stop by the office. I don't have any newspapers. I do have the newsletter initial things that William prepares the night before that I've got, so I have that. But I don't really need any notes to do radio. I mean, this is where you shine. This is where you show what you're made of, that you don't even need a script. You don't even need an outline. You don't even need a newsletter. You know, you just come in here and you let it rip.
And you pick 10-minute songs.
That's right. Yeah, the longest song. No. Let me tell you something. I want to say something. If you think for a minute that we're going to play some sappy love songs for Valentine's Day, you are sorely mistaken. Oh, by the way, my massage therapist, Kim Guffey, last night, and I usually just put her on freaking news while I'm getting massage. She was playing. She goes, well, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. Let's play my good love songs during the massage. God. I am not kidding you. She had one song called Something Sunshine by Cream. It's like a acid rock song, and I'm like, I don't think there's a person in America, Kim, that prepared a top 100 love song list. This wouldn't make it. I mean, she kept playing. These aren't freaking love songs. But today, and you might, expect this because we're rebels here. That's what we are at Class. By the way, is the next newsletter out? Is ClassX like one and done in the newsletter department? Or is the other newsletter going to come out? Or the magazine, excuse me.
NKY Live.
Yeah, NKYLive.com. When's the second edition? Or is it one and done?
You know what? They might have been sold out.
I'm on the cover and we're done.
Jake said that he checked it and they're sold out.
And they've already, but the second edition is out?
Didn't you write your piece for it?
I did. I wrote something for it, but I haven't seen it.
I think they're just sold out.
Who the hell are they going to have on the cover once they have me on the cover? Isn't it kind of like...
I think the obvious choice would be me.
Yeah, I think you should be.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point that I'm going to try to make is no love. Oh, you know what? They will. They will.
That fat ass.
You know what's funny? There are people. You used to see these. Are you guys on the master newsletter list around here? Okay. Bill and Rhonda Spry and the people, they send out like this group. Like the staff meeting, which is some Tuesday every month, which, we never go to because we're real rebels. I mean, if you're real, come on. You think you're a rebel and you go to a freaking company meeting? Not. Yeah. Anyway, this is funny.
We got a board
They
meetings.
think they got something big in Wild Man. I mean, people, oh, God, this is so good that we got Wild Man now. And I'm sitting there thinking, do they even know about Wild Man and what's he about? And he's a miscreant, and they act like he's the superstar. We got Wild Man now.
You got Eric the Bulldog Deters, so you got.
Yeah, and Garrett the producer, and Jake the zoologist, man, and Shannon the traffic girl. Wild Man. Who listens to Wild Man driving home from 4 to 6? I guess nobody.
Wild Man might be the 9th most famous person on this station. You got Melody C. Moon is up there.
Yes.
I mean, obviously us four are the.
And I would say that if you look around the tri-state and you say, okay,
Ryan Basher.
In sports, who would be like in the top 50 people in sports news in the tri-state? He wouldn't make it.
Okay, well, get this. Jake and I were just talking about him before you got here. A promo ran. His promo, he's pining for money so that his fat ass can go to spring training. He wants $1 from everybody, needs $3,000. Wants to go to spring training.
Hey, I say we do this. Not only will we not give Wild Man $1, I say we break into his house and steal whatever money he's got. And when people donate to the show, we intercept it.
Yeah. And give it back to the people.
Give it back
in
to
a drawing.
People. Yeah, send it back to him and say,
of course, we'll keep half.
Listen, you were a dumbass for sending him $1. So here you go. We just saved you from making a fool of yourself.
Guess what he's going to do with that money? Drink with it.
God, we said we'll do it for $2,000.
You know what's funny, too? They claim that they've got like some kind of that song is that long?
Yeah.
No, must be with the intro, man.
Well, it's got
We don't need that intro. We don't need the intro. Could you get the song without the intro?
Let me see how it starts.
Yeah, you got to get the song because this is the kind of music I want to play today.
Is that how it starts?
Yeah, go. There you go. Right there, baby.
We'll just cut it when
Jay
it starts.
Giles Band. It's the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. You guys aren't going to believe this. The next edition of Northern Kentucky Live comes out at the end of February. And they actually had it ready to come out this week. True story. They did have Wild Man on the cover, but the printer, something with his photograph kind of bled through, and the whole cover was distorted. So they had to reissue. They're going to have to reissue the whole thing. Wild Man screws up the cover. You know what it is? You can't get his big fat ass on the cover anyway without trying to shrink it.
Well, I think it's obviously broke the camera.
Oh, absolutely broke the camera. Nice job, Wild Man. Welcome to ClassX Radio.
You try to get people to read the magazine, Bill.
Not
flip it over on the shelf.
One thing, and I still think Bill's a cool guy, Bill
great
Spry.
guy.
But there's one thing that we got to remind Bill is that rebels don't live in the past. Wild Man, can we all agree, has been.
Oh, his time.
Bulldog
came and went.
New, climbing, all that good stuff. I mean,
relevant.
You think about has-beens in radio around here. Wild Man, Jim Scott, has been. Let's get some fresh thoughts in here. That's why people tune in to us every morning, don't they?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got on this happy freaking Valentine's Day for all you lovers out there. They're going to enjoy your day. I hope you get the best Valentine's Day gift from your lover and a nice sweet card and candy and flowers. And I hope you just enjoy the hell out of it. Today in history, 1803, Chief Justice John Marshall declared that any act of the U.S. Congress that conflicts with the Constitution is void. You could probably find every damn act of Congress void. James Polk became the first U.S. president to have his photograph taken in 1849. That's nice to know. Who really gives a damn? 1924, IBM was founded by Thomas Watson. He was the guy that, not Shakespeare. What am I saying? Arthur Conan Doyle's book that he wrote about Sherlock Holmes. This is Thomas Watson, was the Watson in Sherlock Holmes. But he came to life to invent IBM. 1929, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Chicago, 7 gangsters killed. And I fell asleep at 4:17 this morning. You know what I was watching? The Untouchables. Can we jackwagon up Kevin Costner in that?
In The Untouchables?
Yeah, come on. Elliot Ness was a wimp. Sean Connery, on the other hand, was a tough guy. Aretha Franklin came out with Respect.
Great song.
You know, something that Bulldog Nation Radio's got in the morning. We've already been nominated for like 20 more Conies, and we've only been on for less than a year. Wild Man, he gets a toilet award. By the way, speaking of that, can you imagine what his bathroom smells like at home?
Oh, my God.
Ah.
Right, filled with diabetic syringes and all sorts of stuff.
Rob Thomas. I think this would be Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20 is 41.
It is, yeah.
I like
great
Rob
singer.
Thomas. Great singer, man. Sing it,
Oh,
Rob.
this is-
Oh, let's pick out the worst song he has,
Yeah,
William.
thanks, William.
You know, all the great songs of Rob Thomas, Matchbox. Do you believe it?
Unbelievable.
He's terrible.
Play something good from him.
Michael Bloomberg is 71. Michael Bloomberg. You know, can you imagine what it's like? I read something in Wall Street Journal. No, it was New York Times. Like he's buying up and building mansion in property and building a mansion in England, in London. He like wants to be like Mr. London guy. Must be rough being a billionaire. How about Florence Henderson, 79, Greg Brady's love interest, a.k.a. Barry Williams.
Here's the story.
I don't know about you, but I had a crush on Marsha Brady like every other man my generation.
She the oldest one?
Yes. U Downs. Remember you and Baba Wawa? U Downs and Baba Wawa on 2020.
Hugh is 92.
He's still going, baby. Wow. Three famous dead people today. Jimmy Hoffa.
Think they'll ever find him?
I don't know if they're going to find Hoffa or not, but I don't really care if they find him or not. Jack Benny, the great entertainer on television, and Frederick Douglass. No casualties to report on the military death front. 3-day forecast, mostly sunny, high of 48. Friday, rain and snow, high of 39. Saturday, mostly sunny. I'm ready for some useless and mostly entertaining facts. This is funny. The Supremes, you know the female group, Donna Summers, you know? They're originally called the Primettes. Now I know why they changed their name to the Supremes. If they would have kept the Primettes, they would have sucked. When the Yardbirds broke up in 1968, Jimmy Page was left to honor the band's commitments, performing as the new Yardbirds. The group eventually involved in a Led Zeppelin. How you like that? Jimmy Page. The new Yardbirds became Lead for the Head. Like the lead, man. At age 47, Rolling Stones bassist Bill Wyman, this was a long time ago, folks, began a relationship with 13-year-old Mandy Smith with the mother's blessing. She wasn't dumb. She saw those dollar figures. 6 years later, they were married, but the marriage only lasted 1 year. Not long after, Bill's 30-year-old son, Stephen, married Mandy's mother, age 46. That made Stephen a stepfather to his former stepmother. If Bill and Mandy had remained married, Stephen would have been his father's father-in-law and his own grandpa. Oh, my God, my brain is fried. They had some messed up stuff in it, Garrett.
It is.
The rock band Lynyrd Skynyrd took their name from a high school teacher named Leonard Skinner, who had suspended several students for having long hair. That's pretty cool, man. I wonder if that dude's still alive. Lynyrd Skynyrd. Bill Haley. That's stupid, William. In the Durango Desert in Mexico, there's a creepy spot called the Zone of Silence. You can't pick up clear TV or radio signals, and locals say fireballs sometimes appear in the sky. Yeah, and space aliens and rocket ships too, you nitwits. The first man to distill bourbon whiskey in the United States was a Baptist preacher in 1789. By the way, I guess Pastor Dan will be here.
Oh, good.
The pharaohs of ancient Egypt wore garments made with thin threads of beaten gold. Some fabrics had up to 500 gold threads per 1 inch of cloth. Who cares? Ancient Egyptians recommended mixing half an onion with beer foam as a way of warding off death.
A ward off chicks, too.
As church lady said, isn't that special? In Chinese, in olden days, used marijuana as a remedy for dysentery. What? They still do that. I got all kinds of friends who say, man, I got dysentery, and they light one up. They say, hey, Bulldog, you want to hit? And I say, no. I follow the law. When airplanes were still a novel invention, seatbelts where pilots were installed only after the consequence of their absence was observed to be fatal. Several pilots fell to their deaths while flying upside down. Stupid pilots probably deserve to fall. Starch is used as a binder in production paper. Do we care, William? I mean, Garrett, no. An ordinary TNT bomb involves atomic reaction that could be called an atomic bomb. Another stupid one. Man, oh man, oh man. Hey, thought this is a good question, a deep question. Batman, would you like to do the question of the day? I would, Bulldog. Why is it called quicksand if it pulls you in slowly? Thank you. That's pretty good. Why is it called quicksand if it pulls you in slowly? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury again, we're here to dishonor Valentine's Day. That's what we're here for. If you want, like, happy, lovey-dovey, syrupy songs, turn the goddamn radio station. We're not going to honor Valentine's Day. Let me see, we played Love Stinks. What can we play next to just make sure everybody is not in a lovey-dovey mood? The Anti-Valentines Day. Meatloaf song. What's that one Meatloaf song where he says, I need you and I want you, but hell, I ain't never going to freaking love you because you're a wench? There you go, that song right there. It's a Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Happy freaking Valentine's Day. It's the Bulldog on ClassX Radio.
Bulldog.
No. And you want to do the joke again, blind, like we did yesterday?
Yeah.
Maybe it won't suck.
Let's hear it.
A broke blonde decides to ask God for help. Dear Lord, she prays, if I don't get some cash, I'm going to lose everything. Please let me win the lottery. Lottery night comes, but the blonde doesn't win. She prays even harder, saying, God, why have you forsaken me? My children are starving. Please just let me win this once. Suddenly, there's a blinding flash of light, and the blonde hears God speak. Sweetheart, work with me on this. Buy a ticket.
Oh, my God. Yeah. It's pretty good.
God. By the way, last night, when I was working all night, I watched a documentary about John Wooden. And I already kind of knew John Wooden, Pyramid of Success and everything else. But it was him speaking. It was really, really good on Netflix. John Wooden, to kind of refresh things. Foundation to success. Shakespeare for the day. To me, fair friend, you never can be old, for as you were when first your eye I eyed. Not one of Shakespeare's best days.
No,
he woke up that day.
Sick.
He was a little bit off. Woke up with a cold. It was raining a lot. The Elizabethan theater was just not cranking it out that day. Sports, Nerland's nose is gone for the frickin' year.
I shouldn't laugh at a player's injury.
Hey,
He seems
we'll win
like
the
a
NIT.
nice guy.
UK's going to win the NIT.
Great. I couldn't tell you who won the NIT last year.
Hey. Collie Stein's got it, baby. We got a 7-footer in the middle. His name is Collie Stein.
Yeah, his name's not Nerland.
Remember that name, Collie Stein. Basketball scores last night. Did anybody freaking play?
Oh, yeah. UConn beat Syracuse. Big upset. Last time those two schools will play in conference play.
Mm-hmm. By the way, coming up today.
Indiana won.
Coming up on the show, we are going to definitely cover some big stuff about little Precious Allen who got screwed by the media and James Craig. I'm going to tell you something. James Craig, the police chief of Cincinnati, can we jackwagon him up?
Yeah.
He was comparing innocent Precious Allen to the Sam Hook killings. And here's the other thing is, too. And people are going to say, God, Bulldog, that's cold. Like, Chuck sends me a text message already, kind of said, man, you sure you wanted to say that about those pilots? Hey, Garrett, what should happen to a pilot in the 1920s who doesn't have a seatbelt on and he's like outside and he flies his airplane upside down? Would you expect him to fall to the ground and die?
Yes.
That's what I say. You're not going to be stupid. But anyway, James Craig acted like he was worried. And people are going to say, man, Bulldog, are you sure he shouldn't have been? Well, I'm going to be like him. I'm going to draw conclusions without knowing all the facts. Do you really think his family was in jeopardy in L.A. from that door guy that they killed? I doubt it. I mean, he hasn't been out there forever, trying to get a little bit of attention. Yeah, I used to be at the LAPD, and I knew him, and I was really worried. And I think James Craig's like Mr. Pretty Boy. Don't you think the police chief, every time you see him interviewed, you can tell he thinks he's like Lionel Richie.
Yeah, they got their egos.
He thinks, I know somebody, Chief, that knows where you go in Hyde Park. Was telling me about you. Said he's a jerk. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he go to the brass ass over there,
No,
Hyde Park?
I don't hang out at Hyde Park. Somebody told me, they actually sent me a text during the show when I brought him up. They said, I run into him at the Hyde Park. He's a jerk.
Yeah, like that Dorner guy is going to go all the way from California to Cincinnati just to kill you.
Yeah. Like, you think he cared about you? No. He didn't even care about himself.
Probably didn't even remember you.
What a jackwagon, though, man. The guy is a jackwagon. He barricades himself. You know, all these people like go to the mountains. Well, you know what? Do you think you're going to stand out a little bit? The place to go is like a busy ass city.
Mm-hmm. Blend in.
Put a hat and a hoodie on and walk around L.A. Yep. A big fat black guy walking around L.A. Nobody's going to think anything. New York, Chicago, Miami. No, let's go into the woods. People look. What's the big black guy doing out here in the woods? He must be a criminal. And then they shoot you.
Yeah,
it's terrible. They burn your house down. Gas you up, burn you down. Oh, this is the other thing, too, about police officers.
Did they identify him yet, by the way?
No. They had 200 cops there. I'm like, come on. Every cop, like, for 500 miles. Hey, man, let's go. We get to go shy. Oh, 200 cops surrounding the cabin. And you know what? When a cop gets shot, I'm glad I thought about this. I'm no quarter this morning. I heard James Craig say, quote, unquote, on 19 News last night about you can't allow someone or something like that effect to do cold-blooded murder. And I thought to myself, Chief, you mean like the officer who shot and killed in cold-blooded murder? Erica Collins? Is that who you're talking about? Or how about Devon Mullins? Oh, it's okay for a cop to do cold-blooded murder. A cop, cold-blooded murder's all right, see?
Cops.
If it's a person, but if you shoot cop, no, you can't do that. Double standards. Let me see what else we got. I think it's time for pop culture. Alicia Cuthbert. She was the girl that was on The Girl Next Door, whatever that movie. It's a pretty good movie. She's been named the most beautiful woman on television by Maxim magazine. I need to get a Maxim magazine just because I'm sure they got a good list there that we could have some fun with on the show.
Yeah.
Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to play themselves in the March 18th episode of Hawaii Five-0. A dead body falls onto their SUV while tracking a murder suspect. Well, they found him.
Yeah.
Wolf Blitzer questioned whether or not Rubio's pause to take a sip of water could break his political career. Are you freaking kidding me, Wolf? Why do they keep... You know what? CNN's ratings keep going down, 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 just like a Bruce Springsteen song, down, down, down. And they just keep the same people there. It makes no sense. William Shatner said J.J. Abrams is being a pig for directing both the new Star Wars film and the new Star Trek film. He said he's gone too far. Trump said Beyonce's hip thrusting at the Super Bowl was ridiculous and not appropriate. Donald, when the heck did you get so freaking square? CNN panel calls the LAPD manhunt exciting and like Django Unchained. Oh, my God.
Who said that?
A panel of commentators on CNN said the manhunt for Christopher Dorner was like Django Unchained in real life, likened to watching a Denzel Washington.
Disagrees with Lauren.
Nothing's waste. There's no waste here, though. I mean, this has been an important public conversation that we've had about police brutality, about police corruption, about state violence. I mean, there was even talks about making him the first domestic drone target.
I don't care. The guy's
dead.
This is
serious business here. I don't think it's been a waste of time at all. And as far as Dorner himself goes, he's been like a real-life superhero to many people. Now, don't get me wrong. What he did was awful. Killing innocent people is bad. But when you read his manifesto, when you read the message that he left, he wasn't entirely crazy. He had a plan and a mission here, and many people aren't rooting for him to kill innocent people. They're rooting for somebody who was wronged to get a kind of revenge against the system. It's almost like watching Django Unchained in real life. It's kind of exciting.
Incredible belief. Can you imagine if Sean Hannity said something like that?
Yeah, that guy, I could tell he was a black guy. Was he black?
He would be fired. Yeah, he was black. We come back, we'll have more pop culture, and still then, our Anti-Valentines Day. This is Def Leppard, Love Bites. They named their band after a dead leopard that they found in the zoo, and they said, well, he's dead, so he's deaf. So they did Def Leppard instead of Dead Leopard. Little news there for you on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury. Is there anything going on in traffic there?
I haven't seen anything yet this morning.
All right. Unbelievable. Valentine's Day traffic is good, I guess. World's most... I think we might have to have freaking pancakes or something. Isn't pancakes comfort food? World's most expensive bacon sandwich, $235 at Tangberry's Cafe in England. It has eggs, watercress, rare breed bacon, black truffle spread, sliced truffles, edible gold dust, saffron, and is cooked in truffle oil.
Oh,
I had that while
Did you have one of those while you were over there?
That was all right.
You spent $235 on it?
Yeah.
Or did you just steal one from the kitchen? You know?
Might have
Just walk back there and...
I just walked back and said, hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, I'm an American. Give me what I want.
Yeah.
Thanks.
They were like, yeah, that's how we usually treat Americans.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Hey, we need a song there, pal.
We need a song. Let me see.
Start.
Anti-love category.
You want me to keep running down the... All I want to do is make love to you? By heart?
No.
Oh, that's terrible. That's a horrible...
Barracuda. We already played Barracuda.
Great White, House of Broken Love?
No. Let's just keep playing Love Stinks over and over again. State of the Union viewership decreases. Well, can you imagine why? We're all sick of listening to Barack Obama not say a damn thing in an hour. Lady Gaga said that the rest of her tour's been canceled. She tore her hip. Sorry, Lady Gaga. I'm so sorry.
You know, I heard something disgusting about her yesterday.
She is disgusting.
She would change the lyrics in one of her songs to from Poker Face to her face.
Wow.
In her live shows.
Wow.
Dirty.
Yeah, that's dirty.
Oh, she's ugly though. I mean, it's like she's just weird.
I'm sitting here thinking, what do we got here? Dun 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 dun. Carmelo Anthony. He might be forced to miss Sunday's All-Star game due to deep bruising on his right arm. Johnny Cueto says he feels 100% and no lingering issues.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they let him go and play in the World Baseball Classic. He wants to. Dusty doesn't.
He says he wants to. I say no.
Dusty says no. I say no.
Get your ass on the bench.
Screw your country.
Yes.
They're going to lose probably anyway. Where is he from? The Dominican?
Miami plays Oklahoma City tonight at 8 o'clock. That's a good game. The Heat versus Oklahoma City. Indiana beat Nebraska. Close game, 76-47. By the way, J.K. Schaefer's uncle, we got to give him Oracle status, John. I've learned passed away unexpectedly of a heart attack.
His father?
His uncle, 50 years old is all he was. Same age as me.
You've been awarded Oracle status.
You know what? If you're going to drop dead of a heart attack, is there a better day than Valentine's Day? Seriously.
Did it just happen?
Valentine's Day. No, it happened yesterday. God love them. Schaefer family's a good family. You know, I tell you right
He's a
now.
good kid.
You know, I don't know the circumstances, but I just want to tell everybody, if you're over 40 years old, take a daily aspirin. I don't care if you're in fit shape or not.
Yeah.
Daily aspirin.
Go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor.
It just happened to my friend's dad.
Yep. You go to the doctor. Oh, my goodness. A Kenton County SWAT officer was forced to shoot 46-year-old Ronald Corman yesterday at his home. Corman had shot his wife several times. They negotiated him for an hour but couldn't get him to drop his weapon. He and his wife hospitalized and expected to live. Oh, maybe the Kenton County SWAT officer shot him in the leg, Cincinnati officers, instead of 2 head kill shots. That's what they shot Erica Collins. That cop shot her twice in the head. Jeez. Thank you very much.
This is a girl that was outside her apartment.
Was arguing with her sister, and she had a knife, all 5 foot of her. Cincinnati streetcar route construction bids. They might ask for a second bid process. My goodness. Oh, here's one. We got a Bulldog Nation member. I effing hate you by Godsmack. Well, we can't say that if it's in the song. We'd have to edit that. Jeez. Nice idea, though.
That person's just angry.
Yeah.
Listen to Godsmack.
Wait a minute. It's the dude that got shot by the SWAT team texting me from the hospital.
Oh, well, then we...
What a surprise we got in God's.
No. Oh. Is that tasteless joke? Probably tasteless joke.
Yeah, you're heartless.
The school will close for the final time today, Northside Community School, after 30 years in service.
Good. It's probably a dump. That's why it gets closed.
Kate Upton, while on her Antarctica photo shoot trip, Upton was supplied furs from Danya Salyer's famous furs. Wow.
What do you think about that, Jake? They slayed a polar bear up there and...
How about this?
Skinned it for Kate Upton's photo.
Bulldog Nation member Steven, Broken-Hearted Savior. It's by Big Head Todd and the Monsters. What? Westchester Township paid $265,000 to win a lawsuit against Jeremy Lewis, where they pepper sprayed and beat him while he was lying helpless. By the way, I'm going to report on another Cincinnati PD story that we got. Got the video from a restaurant. Good old-fashioned beatdown. Good old-fashioned beatdown.
Yeah. Hey, Shannon, how are you?
Welcome to a happy freaking Valentine's Day show right here on ClassX Radio.
Yeah. She's all ready
Are you in a jolly good mood?
Absolutely. I've heard the music you guys have been playing.
Look at the ginormous heart.
We don't need any.
Like it?
Yes.
Here's one. Here's one from a Bulldog Nation member. White Stripes. There's no home for you here.
Yeah. Hey, how about you morons give us songs that we have?
Nazareth, Love Hurts.
Yeah, that's what I picked because it sounded...
Well, you know what? You know how you avoid that, don't you? You don't love.
Amen, brother. Watch basketball.
I got the perfect guy to do an anti-Valentine's Day show.
And you don't
Garrett.
do a damn thing.
Song suck, or is it a good song?
Well, we're about to find out.
Oh, my God. She wore red on Valentine's Day. How predictable.
Oh, yeah.
ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Is there really a song, if you love somebody, you better set them on fire? By the Dead Milkmen? Yes!
That's the same guy that
There's
emailed
another
me.
one. We got to do that one. All right, traffic gal, what do we got, if anything, on traffic? Like we really care, as long as nobody's hurt.
In Campbell County, there is an accident on 275 between the AA Highway and Taylor Mill Road. An accident blocking the right shoulder on 275 westbound at Kentucky 17 Madison Pike. In Erlanger, an accident on the ramp to I-75 northbound on 275 westbound at exit 84. And in Cincinnati, an accident on East McMillan Street at Mullerin Avenue.
All right. TSA are investigating Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Possible security breach incident at JFK. They were trying to smuggle in Chris Humphreys in a grocery bag.
What'd they do? I think they just let him pass security, right? Because they're famous?
Yep.
That should happen.
Yeah.
Famous and loaded.
18-year-old Connor Kennedy, his father Robert F. Kennedy, Daryl Hannah,
Shannon's kicking me
and
again.
other environmental activists were arrested yesterday in
Valentine's
D.C. while protesting the Keystone Pipeline. Hey, you Kennedys, go back to your little trust and leave the rest of America alone. That's what I say, man. California students were suspended for chanting USA during a game against an Hispanic population student body. I mean, just watch. There's going to be some, like, uppity white school is going to play, like, some inner city black school. And the white, this is going to happen. You watch. The white students are going to do Django Unchained, Django Unchained, Django Unchained. And they're going to get suspended.
Yeah, when we used to play the black school, we'd chant, "It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. You're going to work for me someday." Yeah.
That's an arrogant freaking line.
Well,
now, here's the
we're
best
from
one of all.
Anderson.
Here's the best one of all time.
It's true.
All right? The big arch rivalry out in my neck of the woods was Scott High School and Simon Kenton. And I went to the Simon Kenton game, not in basketball. Hell, Trent Steiner always makes sure Simon Kenton's basketball team sucks. Not because of you players and parents. You know, you say stuff like this. Parents go, how dare you say it?
Oh, your players probably suck, too.
No. Parents are great. Coach sucks. Anyway, so the place is packed, and they have their cheering sections, all right? And Scott, this is so funny because, come on, Scott High School's in Taylor Mill, like they're Hyde Park, you know? And they're chanting to the Simon Kenton student body, "Where is your tractor? Where is your tractor? Where is your..." Making fun of them, okay, like the tractors, okay? The witty Simon Kenton student body fired back, "In your mom's driveway." In your mom's driveway.
The old mom shot.
I love that, baby. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to outsmart a Pioneer.
Where's your
Or a
tractor?
Trojan. Do you believe I went to a high school, okay, Covington Latin, that were called the Trojans? And we had the ugliest colors, green and yellow, like Green Bay Packer ugly colors.
Yeah.
The Covington Latin Trojans. And about 2 years ago, when I was on the big one, I tried to lead a campaign to change their name to the Athenians because they were the smartest Greeks. Why be the Trojans? In fact, Trojans really weren't
they?
Greeks because they were, you know, really where Turkey is. Okay, so I'm thinking to myself, we should call us the Athenians. Oh, my God, some of these snobby alumni, they got all over me, Facebook and stuff.
We used to
rocked the
play.
boat.
We used to play. Glen Estee was a decent rival in high school, and they were the Trojans. We called them Glen's Testes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Glen's Testes.
Yeah, testicles.
Making sure you got that.
I got that.
Glen's Testes.
Testes. And isn't the plural testes, or is it the singular testes?
Testy is
Testes.
one is singular. Testes is both of them.
Okay. It's like,
don't you have two?
It's like what it means in Latin. It's like
Shannon,
test,
you have two?
test, like to take a test to see if it works. And E means ejaculate. So it's testee is why they called it that way. Test ejaculation.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Texas judge blocks a teen's abortion. Good for him. I'm a pro-life kind of guy. This I always love this. People go, "Hey man, how could you be pro-life and say you're a libertarian and a woman should be able to do what she wants with her body?" And my response is always, "You want to respond, Batman? Okay, because it's murder. You don't have liberty to murder."
There's a child in there.
I'm glad Batman's helping me out today.
Yeah, he's
Doing a good
he's
job.
On fire.
Doing a good job. What do we have here? You know the creepiest thing that's ever happened on this show? And he's my friend.
Or talk about
I like
testicles.
him. No, I like him. That was pretty creepy. I like him.
It's up there.
But when Bimbo Man showed up in a Sasquatch outfit, wasn't that weird?
Yeah, drunk bad. That was real.
That
weird.
was really
and
weird.
you were in like a. And Denise is a moron, obviously.
I was like, this is weird. He showed up in a
Was I
Sasquatch.
not here for this?
You were in England.
Right, he was. This guy just comes in a Sasquatch outfit.
Just some guy.
Denise thinks it's going to be so funny, and I'm just like,
Yeah, it made me
get outta
uncomfortable.
here. Yeah.
Made me uncomfortable. What do we have here?
he did a good Sasquatch, though.
Yeah, Pope Benedict XVI in his final public mass said, pray for him. He received a standing ovation that lasted for several minutes. You may not realize this. You know, that doesn't happen a lot in mass, but he got one. That usually happens to me when I finish my closing arguments. in a case when I do my closing argument.
You get the big O?
The jury gives me standing ovation. Judge has to pound the gavel. Sit down.
Pound it.
Sit down. Yeah, get my gavel here. I got the scales of justice. By the way, we're going to do a little pounding with my gavel on Chief Craig today. Princess Allen and her daughter. Justice shall be done. You talk about some nervous people in the media. Some nervous people at Withrow. Some nervous people at the... Oh, I want to take to task the spokesperson for the Cincinnati Police Department. What's the matter, Craig? Can't you speak for yourself? You got to hire a spokesperson. Don't you ever like that? A spokesperson. What the hell do you need a spokesperson for? If you're the president of the company, you speak for them. Don't hire a spokesperson. It's like my law office. Hey, Bill, you want to be the spokesperson? Yeah, I'll be your spokesperson.
You should let me be your spokesperson.
Good God, I'd be in trouble. I'd be disbarred in a matter of days.
Yeah, I'd get you canned.
What else? I already talked about the Pope there. At a Senate hearing on immigration reform, Fred Flintstone, Janet Napolitano insisted the U.S. border has never been stronger. You keep insisting that, Fred. LAPD manhunt is called off. Oh, well, he's dead. Do you think you can say, okay, this is the LAPD. We'd like to say that Christopher Dorner's dead, so we're going to call off the manhunt. And by the way, did you hear about the guy that was there, like the spokesperson for the department where Dorner died? He's all excited. And I'm really proud of all these guys, man. All those guys up there, man, they were taking fire. Yeah, 200 cops to 1. I swear to God, they just love to use their little weapons. You think they would send 200 cops to... Yeah, they would. If it was just like you, they'd send 200 cops to shoot anybody. 200 cops. We're becoming a police state. Well, I think we're ready for a song. Van Halen. How did we miss that one? This is a great Anti-Valentines Day song. Van Halen, baby. It's Valentine's Day. And who the hell cares on ClassX Radio? This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, let's see what we got going on in traffic out there in the tri-state.
In Campbell County, there is an accident on 275 westbound between the AA Highway and Taylor Mill Road. An accident blocking the right shoulder on 275 westbound at Kentucky 17 Madison Pike. In Erlanger, an accident on the ramp 275 northbound on I-275 westbound at 75 exit 84. And in Cincinnati, an accident on East McMillan Street at McLaren Avenue.
All right. Very good. At least then, it doesn't sound like there's too many bad things going on right out there, is there?
No, not yet.
Everybody's taking off for Valentine's Day.
They really take off for Valentine's Day?
I have no idea.
Well, we got a poster that we have to present. And the first thing that...
Not a good one.
The very rude Garrett, who's uncultured, says, who the hell's this guy? That's what he says. Who the hell's this guy?
Yeah. Doesn't have boobs.
Well, this guy right
I know
here
that.
is St. Thomas More, who lost his head on principle. Do you think any of our senators and congressmen or anybody in the White House would give up their head on principle? No.
So he'd still be alive
Thomas
today
More,
if he didn't.
Patron saint of lawyers. Okay? That's who you like. When let's say you're getting ready to be sanctioned by a judge, that's who you pray to. Dear St. Thomas More, please don't let this judge throw me in jail more than 24 hours.
I like that chain he's got on, though.
That's the chancellorship.
Nice chain.
That's what you wore to chancellorship right there, baby.
I want to be the chancellor. How do I get that? You know what it looks like right at the end? It looks like this pretzel.
You can be the chancellor of Bulldog Nation.
What does a chancellor do?
Whatever you want. Well, actually,
He doesn't want too much work.
You're like the prime minister.
Don't put too much on.
You're like the prime minister of Bulldog Nation. Like you're like an envoy.
Yes.
You know what an envoy is? Like we send you to like meet with the 5 heads of the crime families in New York. We'd send you. You're the envoy.
Am I like like an elder wise man, like a Yoda?
Yes, you'd be like a Yoda, Bulldog Mafia.
Yeah, all right, I like
it. Would put you third command.
'Cause I pretty much know everything.
Right behind Chuck. See, it'd be Godfather me. We
but
have
I'm
the
already
Godfather
in third
Emeritus,
command.
Larry Grouse, and then we got Chuck Holbrook, the underboss, and then you'd be chancellor. You'd move up from a captain to a chancellorship.
What do you think about that, Shannon? Chancellor.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
look, it impressed the hell out of her. Look, she might cancel her date.
Blushing and everything. How about that?
We just want to announce the romance that we got
Please
brewing
address
here.
me as Chancellor Sablehouse.
All right.
from
Chancellor
this point
Sablehouse.
forward.
I like that.
I'm going to have to start talking as a chancellor would.
Lose that A word that you like to throw around.
Ass?
Let me see. What do we have here?
Ass. I'm out.
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker rejected expanding Medicaid under Obamacare in Wisconsin. Good for you. Good for you. Politics. A businessman who played a key fundraising role in Clinton's first presidential bid has said Bill Clinton confirmed to him that Hillary will run again in 2016. We have a tape recording of that conversation that was secretly tape recorded. Hey, how you doing, Bob? Yeah, thanks. She's doing good. I just want you to know, be the first to know, Bob. Get ready to go shake those people down. Hillary's going to run 2016. You know what's so great about it? She gets the hell out of this house. I'm telling you, she's driving me nuts. You know, she's going to run 2016. I figure like by next year, she'll be back out on the campaign trail. Oh, man, that's so much better when she's not around. Oh, wait, here she comes. I got to go. Bye. That was recorded apparently by somebody. Bill Clinton's conversation. Supreme Court Justice Antoine Scalia said he doesn't attend the State of the Union address because it's turned into a childish spectacle. I don't want to be there to lend dignity to it. Remember what I said about everybody just staying in their chairs? You know, the president says no more, don't clap and stand. It is. It's a bunch of bleh. Something that was supposed to be neat and dignified is turned into a joke. Hell in a Chinese-made canoe. That's where we're headed. What else do we have? Something that's any interesting. Senator Rand Paul, who if he runs for president will probably ask me to be his VP, wants a hold on John Brennan's CI confirmation. I have asked John Brennan if he believed the president has the power to authorize lethal force such as a drone strike against a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil, and my question remains unanswered. I will not allow a vote on this nomination until Brennan openly responds to questions and concerns my colleagues have. You go, Rand. Go, Rand, go. Hey, Chancellor, you don't get the gavel, okay? Okay? You don't get the gavel. You're hurting people's ears,
mine.
Man. Straighten up and fly right, or I'll fire your ass as Chancellor. I can't fire you as Consul, but I can fire you as Chancellor.
That's true. I can be both?
Yes.
Oh, I thought I had to resign my post.
No, we're not like other governments where you can only hold one post at once.
Good. Coming for the top spot.
You know, that is true. Like, if you're the Godfather, doesn't everybody, like, try to kill you to become the next Godfather?
Hey, Spry, can I have my own show on here? I'd like to branch off.
You know, there's always branches off shows.
It's true.
The Chancellor Sablehouse show.
The Cleveland show.
The Chancellor Sablehouse show.
Maybe we should do a late night show. Drink a bunch of beer.
Yeah, we should.
I would love to do a late night show.
Oh, we'd get wasted.
FCC rules don't apply, do they?
Absolutely not. It's radio. We just couldn't film. Can't film.
Hey, this is funny. This is
Strippers
funny.
from the brass ass.
Do you know? Okay, John Kerry's the new Secretary of State. He goes, though Kerry has spoken with several foreign leaders about North Korea's latest nuclear test, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has failed to return Kerry's calls. Guys, they won't call me back. I keep calling him, he won't call me back. Jeez, oh, Pete. Oh, my God. Rubio said the government can't change the weather. I said that in the speech. Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Good to know.
Good to know that they're all going after Rubio. We can't let him get those Hispanic votes and beat us. We can't do that. The state of Obama. Daniel Henninger, I like him from the Wall Street Journal. Here's what has to be understood. It's all about him. Yes, it is. He's a failure as president of the United States. An abject failure. Oh, my God, that's the song we're going to play?
Oh, yeah. Little shout-out. Jake wanted to play this for Shannon.
Jeez.
So it's a little, just a request.
I apologize in advance, man.
Oh, it's a great song. Jake wanted to play it. It's about time we let Jake make a decision around here.
That's really inappropriate.
Is this a song? Is this a song that they redid from the Atlantic rhythm section, Imaginary Lover?
Well, if our classic fans remember, this is a song we played when I asked Denise about her sex life.
I don't remember that, but I do know this.
Yeah, remember I would do that all the time.
Yeah, it was not memorable.
It's because she didn't have a sex life to remember.
Oh, What do you mean she?
Till your boy Deathridge came along.
Well, her and Sasquatch, baby.
Yeah, they're
and by the way, unlike Garrett,
on.
Denise and Jason, you guys are great people. I love you. Don't listen to Sable House. Ain't nothing wrong with Denise and Jason. Bimbo Man's a good guy.
Bimbo Man.
I've told you how you got that nickname, didn't you? He called me Vitamin Man because I took all these vitamins. So I called him Bimbo Man because he was like a male bimbo. Tall, handsome, but not much between the ears. Charming kind of guy. He embraced it.
And you guys really insulted each other.
Yeah, we really insulted each other.
Vitamin guy.
Oh, my God. Vitamin Man.
Man.
You want to hear something really gay-like? We actually had T-shirts made up. Vitamin Man and Bimbo Man.
What, are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
I quit.
We were in our early 20s.
Oh, well, then that... You didn't have your wits about you then.
There was no Brokeback moments, okay? It was just stupid
What'd
that
you
we
guys-
had shirts made.
No wonder you never pulled any ass at the bar. Probably walked in with those 2 shirts on.
Oh, my. Oh, God. You know what, folks? If you want the rest of the news, look at my newsletter. I'm done with this damn thing.
Turn on the TV.
Let's play the song. It's called The Vinyls.
By the Divinals.
I'm not even going to announce
Come
the
on,
song.
this
This
is
is
a great
despicable.
song.
I apologize to all of you. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Coming up, we're going to talk about Princess Allen and the Withrow incident. Of course, the whole inside scoop. I'm going to reveal another incident of a Cincinnati police officer doing a beatdown on a citizen. And by the way, on this one, the Internal Affairs are conducting an investigation. I'm telling you right now, it's a good thing the Bulldog exists to fight these battles, these lonely battles. All right, traffic girl, Shannon, what do you got?
In Campbell County, there's an accident on 275 westbound between the AA Highway and Taylor Mill Road. An accident blocking the right shoulder on 275 westbound at Madison Pike. And in Cincinnati, an accident on East McMillan Street at Mullerin Avenue.
All right. Very good report there. What do you give her, Mr. Garrett?
F. That was horrible.
That was
terrible
horrible.
reporting.
My goodness, you are
It's
a harsh
Valentine's
man.
Day. Can't you be nice today?
Oh, that's true. Hey,
Thank you.
I love that sweater.
Thanks.
And your necklace.
Thank you.
That's funny.
And your fake tan. What?
Oh,
Kidding.
my
I'm
Thanks.
God.
Shannon does not have a fake tan. That last
There's
part
a-
was
It's at
just...
the tanning bed.
There's a member in my office that
is a
yesterday
fake tan.
I looked and I'm saying, well, they got tan awful quick. I said, tanning bed? They said, yep. I said, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You know, one day you're like an albino, and the next minute you look like
12
Kanye.
minutes, you're in and out.
You look like Kanye West. You know you've tanned.
Yeah, you're glowing in the dark.
You know? This incident here, I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to save the old Precious Allen next. But there is a case that we got, this Sarah Curry. And this is funny because she comes to see me, and, you know, you make judgments about how people look sometimes and how they act and whatnot. And she came to see me I met her like on a Saturday or Sunday with her boyfriend here at his office. And I'm looking at her and just listening to her talk and listen to how she acted and listen how she, you know, just carried
Conducted
herself.
herself.
I thought to myself, I hope I don't piss her off because she kicked my ass. I mean, she's pretty rough, all right? Well, I'm a cynic. People don't realize this. When I get phone calls about these things, I'm generally a cynic. People just think that I just go off and think that, okay, this really happened. Now, I'm generally a cynic. And say, yeah, right. Yeah, like a cop's really going to do that, okay? And what they described was they were in this bar, and they got in an altercation verbally with somebody, and they were asked to leave. And they left, you know, nice, peacefully, and quietly. And as they were walking around, it was called the Inner Circle nightclub. As they were walking around the Inner Circle nightclub, that they were like cussing to herself, you know, kind of like, gosh dang, I hate this place, da-da-da. And an off-duty Cincinnati police officer who was working security detail, his name, because, you know, we shouldn't mention his name, that it's Deputy Cotton. I'm just joking. I do want to mention his name. So Deputy Cotton, kind of confronts her, okay? And what is captured on the videotape is unbelievable. And my expert has reviewed the tape, and Deputy Cotton just brutally beats the hell out of her. I mean, the video shows she's in obvious pain, and she's in fear of, she is in fear of, dying, being beaten to death. And, it's just an incredible incident. And Internal Affairs are investigating this, but of course, you think they're going to do anything? Nah. And then once again, they charge her with resisting arrest after she gets the freaking beating. I just want everybody to know what the law is. I'm being serious. This is what the law is. You are allowed to resist an unlawful arrest. But two things. You got to be right. You know what I mean? And number two, you run the risk if you resist an arrest of getting hell beat out of you, shot, who knows what. So it's best just to submit. Well, the video shows her submitting, and it doesn't make any difference. And that's the other thing is, the police don't have a right to beat the hell out of you. If you did something wrong and then you surrender, well, guess what? They are not allowed to get free shots. There was a famous case in northern Kentucky many, many years ago where there was a high-speed chase, and the guy wrecked, and they finally got him. And this went to federal court, and some cops went to jail for it. They did the old-fashioned beatdown, and they actually kind of held him there to let all the other cops that were involved in the chase come and just keep beating the hell out of the guy. It happens. And what do you do when this happens?
Call the Bulldog.
859.
You're right, man.
250.
And
what is it?
Listen. All we can do is
527.
All we can do is say you should go to ericdeters.com to get information. See, I'm the only guy here that listens to what we're supposed to do. Listen to this. You ready for this is my day.
And that's 859.
This is my day. 9 o'clock meeting with a doctor. By the way, I'm representing this doctor, okay? 9:30 meeting, 10 o'clock call with the court, 11 o'clock call with the court, then meetings 1:30, 1:45, 2, 2:33, 3:34, 4:35. Don't let that scare you off. I can meet people at 1:45, 2:45, 3:15, 3:45.
319, 323.
I am never too busy for a good case. Now, if your case sucks, I'll just not take it. I won't say I'm too busy. But you are allowed to disregard an unlawful order. So when Bill Spry, texts us and calls us and he says, I want you to have Wildman on a guest to promote his show from 4 to 6 p.m. on Real Talk 1160, that may not be an unlawful order, but it's kind of like sadomasochistic order. So we could ignore that, and he couldn't fire us. You guys,
we're not having him on, are we?
No. Are you kidding me?
A fat slob.
Wild Man Walker. He's not very wild anymore either. And he's always when he goes on these trips, he raises money. He's got to take his son Petey with him. He named his kid after Pete Rose. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Oh,
I just thought of something. Can you imagine what it's like to be a woman and you're Facebooking, right? You're on your Facebook page, and you get a friend request from Wild Man.
Shannon, did you get that request yet?
No, not yet.
Not
yet.
It's coming.
You're going to get this. Oh, that'll be hilarious.
It's coming, yeah.
Oh, my God. Shannon's going to get the... That's weird, isn't it?
I mean, there's nothing to describe him other than just slob.
Yeah, we got to leave Wild Man alone. Time to turn the page.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck with your show, Wild Man.
Yeah, we really hope it's a success. All right. When we come back, if you missed the interview yesterday, and she's going to be doing television interviews all day today. You remember what happened over at Withrow, and there was a newspaper there. There was a lock, and the mom and her stormed in, and they stormed into the room, and they hit the teacher, and they started beating the hell out of the girl that's accused of being a bully and all this stuff. When we come back, you're going to get the rest of the story from the Bulldog, who once again gets called into action to help the little guy. By the way, those people that they had some kind of school that was being attacked in the media. They called me too. Telling you, man. This community would probably fall apart if I wasn't here to fight for justice. What do we got playing here? Bon Jovi. Great idea. This was Bill Spry's, wasn't it?
That was my idea.
Your idea? This is Bon Jovi, and let's all sing the verse together, the chorus, and we go, you give love a bad name. You got to do it like this. Bad name, bad name. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, let's get a traffic report before I give you the lowdown on Precious Allen, my new client.
In Campbell County, there's an accident on 275 westbound between the AA Highway and Taylor Mill Road. An accident blocking the right shoulder on 275 westbound at Madison Pike. And in Cincinnati, an accident on East McMillan Street at Mullerin Avenue.
All right, the news media, 5, 9, 12, and 19 reported how a mother and daughter team and another lady stormed in to Withrow High School, went into a classroom, and beat the hell out of a student. And they have been charged with felonious assault. And in fact, by the way, the young girl, if you did not know this, the young girl is still in jail. She's a minor. Her mother is very distraught about that. I mean, and it sounded like it's just everybody just started dogging them, based on the news media reports and, the spokesperson for the school, and it's pretty incredible. Well, let me tell you the real story. Okay? Here's what you need to know. Precious Allen was a product of Cincinnati Catholic education, and she works as a PRN with the nuns at the Rehabilitation Center at Notre Dame and Madonna Manor. She works over 60 hours a week. She has 5 children, and she had a disagreement with her ex over her daughter going to Withrow versus a private school where she wanted her to go. And her daughter, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and say her name because she doesn't mind. Her name's Cornetia. She's just not this unknown person out there. She's a real human being, Cornetia. Well, what developed over time at Withrow is Cornetia was bullied. And I'm not going to tell you the name of the minor that bullied her, but she was bullied. She was bullied a lot. And finally, there was an incident where, and this was kept from her mother, where she finally reveals this to her mother, and her mother noticed that her grades were suffering, which they had never had, and she was never a problem child at all. So her mother decides to withdraw her from Withrow. She wants to protect her child. She'd only been up to Withrow a couple times, didn't know how to get in, go in, where to go, or anything else. And they went to one door, then they went to another door. Absolutely no forcing their way in. And they were let in, and she knew the school resource officer and carried on a nice little conversation in the hall. There was no breaking in. There was no storming in. There was no sneaking in. And they were going to go to Cornetia's classroom. Why? To get her things. They didn't go there to start a fight or anything. They just went there. They went there, told the teacher why they were there. And during the conversation about, Cornetia getting her things, guess what happens? The bully comes over, gives him some lip, and attacks Cornetia. And it acted like, she was getting the hell beat out of her, so the mom stepped in. No, she was getting the hell beat out of her, and mom pulled the bully off Cornetia. And that was it. There was no going to the classroom they went there to get their things. By the way, even Lincoln Ware, who, Chuck, if you're listening, we're scheduled for Friday at 11 o'clock on Lincoln's show. Anyway, he goes, well, she still should win the class. I mean, it's amazing how people just accept this misinformation. And the bully is not arrested. They're not arrested. But the mom is. The mom is arrested. There was no premeditated attack at all, except from the bully. And the media made it look like Precious and her daughter like cleverly snuck in and infiltrated the school, like, oh, that's how do we get in there? Not true. She went there to withdraw her daughter from the school. Precious never even personally addressed the bully student. The bully attacked her daughter right in front of her. And by the way, to use Chuck Holbrook's words, the bully is huge. His words, a full can of whoop-ass. Precious would never hit another child. She has 5 children of her own. She's a single mother. She works her ass off. She is a productive member of society. She's someone, Princess is, who pulls the wagon with us, not riding in the wagon. So what did Jack Wagon James Craig say? She'll be held accountable for the classroom brawl. It was like the Sandy Hook massacre. Really? Really? The student suffered cuts and bruises, and the teacher ended up with a black eye. Well, guess what? It wasn't Cornisha's fault, and it wasn't her mom's fault. Jeez, Pete. Now, that's the truth, and I'm not kidding you. When I listen to Willie interview her, by the way, she's going to come on our show too, probably Friday, I would think. So if you missed it, you're going to. But I'm listening. I had tears, and they had paid. They were paying us some money, and they only had paid for part of it. They haven't been able to pay for the whole thing. And after listening to the interview, I told Chuck, I said, Tony, she ain't got to pay us any more freaking money. I don't want to charge her another nickel. Can't take money from her. What it's scrapped for her. By the way, it's very reasonable. But, I mean, I want to tell her, I know there's some culpability. There's some libel. There's some slander. There's some malicious prosecution. I can't wait to find out how they got charged and the bully didn't. And how this story got out there. Who hates them so much that this is the story that got concocted? We'll see if James Craig has enough guts to apologize. I mean, how do you compare these innocent people to Sandy Hook, and you don't apologize? Incredible. So sad. Bullying sucks. And the Bulldog, that's my new national cause, local cause. Bullying. Perfect for the Bulldog, isn't it? To be the champion of the bullied. In other words, I'd go after you, Garrett, back in the day, man. You'd be on my radar.
No, I was a great bully. I was nice to the kids.
You were nice to the kids.
I was bully to the cool kids.
Okay. All right, what song do we have to play?
Give me that back.
Oh, it's a great song. This is Brian.
Trying to save Post-it notes. Jake.
Brian Adams, Cuts Like a Knife on ClassX Radio. ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, we now get a traffic report from Shannon.
In Mount Orab, there's a road closed due to an accident on Highway 32. In Cincinnati, an accident on 275 eastbound at Whitten Road. In Butler County, a disabled vehicle on Highway 747 at Crescentville Road. In Claremont County, an accident on Mount Carmel Tabasco Road at Cincinnati Batavia Pike. And in Cincinnati, an accident on East McMillan Street at Mullerin Avenue.
All right, thank you. And joining us
great
today
report.
Thank you.
Is Dan Francis, the pastor of Latonia Baptist Church and the CEO, commander, and executive president, board of directors, sole shareholder, and world general of StayInTheRoom.com. And I just want to welcome you to the show again, Dan. It's good to have you. We just need some love brought into our show today because it's kind of been an anti-Valentines Day show.
You're telling me.
And, I just think, I do want you to know, though, that Jake went out and got a new Sports Illustrated. Jake, we want to thank you for getting that.
No, that was Dan.
It wasn't Dan. What are you talking about? Don't try to blame the preacher for bringing in the Sports Illustrated cover. Now, what do you think? Does the cover? Do you approve of it?
God.
All right, while they're looking at the pictures, Dan, do you have anything that you'd like to share based on what you've heard so far? Or you can just be like Joker's Wild, go off the board, and I don't care what you do today, Dan, because I just need a break.
Well, I got to redeem Valentine's Day. I did a little history, as you might expect me to do.
Good.
If you forgot Valentine's Day, in other words, you got up this morning, and you discovered that Valentine's Day is here, you need to go to Uzbekistan.
What goes on there?
Because they're phasing out all the holidays. They're replacing.
Good for them.
They're replacing Saint Valentine's Day with a day they're calling Baber, which is placed on the 16th century descendant of, guess who? Genghis Khan.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Genghis Khan.
You imagine that. The Mongolian warrior. How connected to romance are the two whose name birthed this day? Well, Valentine of Rome and Valentine of Turkey.
I want to hear the story of Valentine of Rome.
It's quite interesting. You know, I think he was the one that was actually killed, martyred. I think both these guys were martyred. And
martyred.
One because
struck down in the prime of their lives.
He was doing weddings secretly after the Roman emperor said,
no more
of this wedding stuff because it takes away from the strength of the Roman army.
Don't want any of that.
But we've now discovered that reducing man to without woman is not a strengthening thing.
Not a good.
It's a weakening thing. Okay, who was the first person to equate Valentine's Day with romantic love? It was Geoffrey Chaucer. He wrote about the first anniversary.
He was a good Englishman.
He was. Of King Richard II of England to Anne of Bohemia in 1382. And guess how old they were? 14 years old.
That's the way they did it back in the day.
Right.
I wanted to do that with my kids. When Parker was 13, I said, son, I met this really rich couple up in Indian Hill, and they got a little 12-year-old daughter I'd like to hook you up with. But Parker said no.
Nope.
He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it.
Well, I have two other stories. We'll do quick. One of them is, hopefully, somewhat funny.
I do, too, because if they suck, we're going to make fun of them.
I know you will, as you did about the joke this morning, I heard.
That joke was terrible.
Well, this one is from a preacher type like me who, when he was a very young boy, got his first lesson in the power of words. He and his sister dared to play Cupid. Their mother was the only parent in the home, and a judge in the city had been seeing her.
Hold on a second. Did they do Show Me Yours, Show Me Yours? All right, go ahead.
I believe that's correct.
Okay, go ahead.
It came to Valentine's Day, and they decided to send the judge a Valentine from their mom without her knowing it. They wanted to be romantic, so they used a word they had learned in Sunday school. They did not know the meaning of the word, but they knew it was used in relationship to King Solomon.
Wisdom.
It had some kind of romantic connotation. Added to that, it came from the Bible, so it was sure to make an impact. The Valentine received by the judge was beautiful, filled with paper lace and arrow-pierced hearts. The verse read, "If you will be my Valentine, I will be your concubine."
Ah! I like that.
That's right. Just in case you don't know what a concubine is, it's a woman who cohabits.
It's a kept woman.
That's right.
And like Solomon was smart. You know, King Solomon was smart.
Right.
He was the famous one that, he had to decide whose baby it was. And he said, okay, get me a knife and I'll cut the baby in half and give. And, of course, the real mom said, no, she can have it. So he knew. Pretty wise dude. Well, what gave him all this wisdom is having like 1,000 wives.
You got it.
I mean, so, I don't know. Go ahead. Next.
Well, the only other story that I thought was valuable was the bakery called back believing that the order was incorrect. They were shocked when the woman on the phone line said, no, I really do need it to say happy 80th anniversary, not birthday.
Wow.
Yep. John and Ann Batar, children of Syrian immigrants in the 1920s, and parents had arranged for her to marry a man 20 years her senior because they felt like it would be a good provider. But Ann was not pleased with the arrangement. She'd fallen in love with a neighbor boy, and she and he eloped. And they, as of last November, John's 101 and Ann is 97. They are the longest married couple.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Oracle status for them if
cool,
if Garrett could get his nose out of the sports swimsuit issue.
You could just not have me work.
Do we have a song? Do we have a song?
That wasn't probably the best idea.
Yeah.
By the way, I got some more to say about this incident up at Withrow because I got some more things that nobody knows about that I'm going to share with you. Inside information.
Good girls don't.
Oh, this is a great song by Knack on ClassX Radio. Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry, we will begin with a traffic report from Shannon.
In Mount Orab, there's a road closed to an accident on Highway 32 at North High Street. In Hamilton County, an accident on the Ronald Reagan Highway east of Winton Road. In Cincinnati, an accident on Columbia Parkway at Stanley Avenue. In Hamilton County, an accident on Dana Avenue at Madison Road. An accident on West Mitchell Avenue at I-75. An accident on the ramp to I-74 eastbound of Coleraine Beekman Street. In Cincinnati, a disabled vehicle on Reading Road. And another disabled vehicle on Hamilton Avenue at Ridge Rock Road.
Ridge Rock Road.
Few blips.
Yeah, sorry.
So, so how's the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition there, Mr. Garrett?
It's good. Great writing.
All right, good script.
It's always
there.
Sports Illustrated's writers are the best.
What do you got, Dan? You got anything else you'd like to share with the ladies and gentlemen of the American jury?
Well, I just thought of a good quote from Yogi Berra when I saw that Garrett could not take his eyes off of the Sports Illustrated. And Yogi used to say, you can see a lot by looking. And I think he's certainly discovered that. You've been seeing a lot by looking.
You can. I also came up with this one. Always judge a book by its cover.
Right? Okay.
So I always just see a picture and I just make up my mind right then.
Right.
And you don't even have to talk to the person.
And that's
that
why
point.
you ripped the book out of my arms?
That's why I just took it right from you.
I got to listen to this on this precious Alan.
Right.
This is an incredible story, Willie did a good job of interviewing yesterday. But I got to just share this with you. This is unbelievable. First of all, the people just aren't honest. I mean, police weren't honest. The school wasn't honest. The first thing that precious Alan said as she entered the classroom was to the teacher, "Ma'am, may I please speak with you?" And the bully in the room immediately said, "Yeah, bitch, here I am." First thing. And then went on to say, "Cornisha, I know you ain't got no heart bringing your moms up in here." And then proceeded to attack them. Is that not incredible? And by the way, that girl, the big can of whoop ass, as Chuck described her, no charges against her. No charges against her. I want to give you your perspective on it. And by the way, I want to say this. When this all came out, this is what I said. I'm glad I said this. I said that if it was true, that the mom did take the daughter up there to get a pound of flesh, I'm cool with it. I mean, if it was my kid, I'd be like, you know what? Let's go have it out right now if they're not going to protect your kid. Oh, and by the way, Cornisha did tell the school about the bullying, and it never stopped. Just so everybody knows that. But what's your comments about that? As a minister, bullying, that's an interesting thing because you got turn the other cheek and all that. But what's your perspective on that?
Well, stayintheroom.com, I deal with 5 things, and one of them is boundaries. And if you don't have appropriate boundaries, you're going to get in trouble. And obviously, these folks didn't. And I'm for drawing very clear boundaries. And, I've been in self-defense most of my life, so I do think there's a point at which you say, wait a minute, enough. We're not going to go any further with this. And whatever it is that you think you're dealing with here, you're going to get a surprise here probably at the end because we can't keep being pushed in the corner. That's you don't want to fight somebody. You don't want to deal with somebody who's in the corner. They don't have any options left.
Right. I think that's a good point. But it just seems like to me that the world, and this is just my thoughts. I believe. I mean, I'm a lawyer, and I tell you right now, there's a phrase that freaking lawyers in the Bar Association uses, which I just cannot stand: the rule of law. The rule of law. We got to obey the rule of law. And it's just like, oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you something. There's a rule of law, and I'm telling you right now, there's also, and this is just me, this is just yours truly speaking, there's also what I call some social justice. There's some social justice. And, your kid's getting bullied. I'm sorry, man. I don't know how you don't have the right to do something. Now, I'm not saying you have the right to hit the kid,
right.
But maybe you have the right to put your finger in her face and say, you touch my kid again, I'm going to knock you out, even though you're not going to do it. Maybe threaten it. I mean, it's so sad. And, I can't imagine. I mean, I was never bullied, thank God. I was teased. I mean, most kids are teased. But, I can't imagine what it's like for the bullied to feel that pain that would be associated with getting picked on so harshly. I can't fathom it.
Well, I don't remember ever being bullied. I remember we had a bully. I mean, he was just bigger than everybody else, and he kind of pushed his weight around. And in all honesty, in the 8th grade, I said, you know what, I better take karate. And that's why I kind of started leaning into that option. Later, we became very close friends. But I'm wondering, Eric, do you think, back then, there was nothing unusual for you to say, meet you after school, dude, and we'd go out.
Right.
And usually there was one punch thrown.
Right.
And you always knew he who bleeds first loses.
That's right.
And usually wait till they are least expecting it, punch them, they bleed, and it's over. So
one of the things that my karate teacher, Bill Dimitrick, who I know you know, said, he who gets there with the most wins. If you get there first and you ain't got enough, you're going to lose. If you get there last, but you got more, you can win. I love that.
That's right.
Now, this is funny, I did not begin karate till I was 18, and I have a similar story that I think is, and I'm going to go ahead and name names. It's easier just to name names. Everybody know Todd Penick out in good old the Independence area?
I know the name.
Well, anyway.
Love Todd Penick.
I was at the
good man.
He was a jerk. Anyway, out at the
jackass.
I was at the Lighthouse one night with a bunch of guys. There's like a big group of people, and he was sitting there, and I'm sitting at this table, and he didn't like me because a girl that he had broken up with was hanging out at my brother's house, and I was hanging out there too, and so anyway, I guess he just assumed some things.
Did you guys do the no pants dance?
No. Anyway, so. He's looking at me. I'm not kidding you. And I grew up with this a lot. When your dad is Charlie Deters in the middle of Independence, people don't even freaking know you. And there's people that just draw conclusions. And there's a lot of jealousy and all that stuff,
I draw conclusions.
As Garrett raises his hand. So he starts dogging my dad to me. And by the way, I have never, ever, ever, ever done that to anybody. I can't imagine looking at somebody and dogging their dad.
Parents and children are off.
Who does that? You know what I'm saying?
Not fair.
So I was sitting there, and what was so funny, it was like fight. He's a nitwit, brain-wise. So, I was just destroying him. Here I am, he making comments, and I was just firing back with sarcasm,
Witty and wise, as always.
I was being witty and wise, and all of a sudden, he leaned over, he had a cigarette, he was smoking, and he leaned over to burn my face with a cigarette. And he went like this, and I remember knocking his hand away, okay? I didn't feel anything. Well, about 30 minutes later, I go into the bathroom, and lo and freaking behold, I had a cigarette burn right smack above my lip and below my nose, a cigarette burn. And it was starting to hurt. It was kind of weird. I guess, it was like, and I was, God dang, Now, he's a pretty big guy. He's a bigger guy than me. And, after that, I just left. I got mad. I just left. I was with Keith Shipman. I just left his ass. I said, I'm out of here. And the next day or the next weekend, I was at a family gathering of some sorts, and Denny Dickerson, who was a black belt down at Bill Dimitrick School.
I know Denny well.
You know Denny, electrician?
Denny Dickerson, great man.
And Denny starts telling me about this, and I say, Denny, I always wanted to go down to karate, but my mom and dad wouldn't let me. And I'm working on the farm, and you got to be 18, and that wasn't part of my mom and dad's deal. And he said, well, come on down, and we'll see if you like it. And I told him, I said, let me tell you something. I said, I've just been in a few scraps, but I said, I hated the fact that I didn't go back, find that guy, and just kick his ass. And I said, to be honest with you, the reason why I didn't is I couldn't. And that's why I did it. And, God, the empowering feeling that you get when you train for a couple years and you are freaking limber and tough and quick and strong and you exude it. It wears on you, doesn't it? And what happens is, and this is kind of weird, you never get in fights again.
You don't.
People see it. They feel it. Even at 49 years old, I have felt that from other people in an angry argument to where I could tell they don't want to mess with me. Now, they might be able to kick my butt, but they just feel this confidence that you're not afraid. And you know what to do. It's that push stuff, But I'm glad I did it. It was one of the best things I have ever done. And it's what's also great about it, it's not a team sport. You can do it yourself. You can practice at home by yourself.
That's right.
God, I was ate up with it, man. I bought shurikens. I was throwing those stars, 3-car garage, hitting those white pine targets, breaking boards, had my makiwar, beating my knuckles. I was into it. I'm sure. Well, you were an instructor, so
Denny Dickerson was the main dude.
He was.
He came
and
down.
Did he not just look bad? He looked like a badass.
And if he didn't look bad, he would kind of wrinkle his brow.
Right.
And think he looked bad.
Right. Yeah, he's a good guy, tough guy.
I saw Denny at Dimitri's funeral, by the way.
Did you?
Denny was there, yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, good times.
Yes, they are.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury, we're going to play another song for you. You know what? Since it's Valentine's Day and we're the Anti-Valentines, this song was written by Lindsey Buckingham and his breakup, Stevie Nicks. When they were going to break up, they said, well, let's write a song about it. Let's just go our own way. True story. And they played this song.
Really?
Yep.
Can't wait for their concert.
It's going to be good on ClassX Radio. The Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury, we give you a traffic report.
In Mount Orab, there is a road closed due to an accident on Highway 32. In Cincinnati, an accident on Columbia Parkway at Stanley Avenue. An accident on the ramp to I-74 eastbound at Coleraine Beekman Street. In Cincinnati, a disabled vehicle on Reading Road at US 42 and Blair Avenue. A disabled vehicle on Hamilton Avenue at Blue Rock Road. And in Hamilton County, an accident on Dana Avenue at Madison Road.
Madison Road. All right, Dan, do you have anything that you'd continue to like to share with the ladies and gentlemen, the American people, here on this wonderful Wednesday, Valentine's Day, a day which we have shunned for the most part?
Well, I will say this, that, this is Lent. And yesterday I had an interesting
first day of Lent.
Experience. That's right, second day. A friend of mine had ashes on his forehead. And, of course, you grew up with that tradition. But he told me by noon, 3 people had said, excuse me, do you know you have something on your forehead? And he said, yeah, I know. I said, oh, okay, as long as you know it's cool, I mean, it was just over their head completely. I mean, it's just kind of embarrassing. I thought to be going through that and then feel the embarrassment of somebody being asking you that.
I gotta share a funny story about the Precious Allen that is just incredible. James Boggins is a public defender in Hamilton County. And not only is he a public defender, I consider him a friend, professional and otherwise. He has covered many a thing for me over there at the courthouse. I even had a discussion with him once about joining me. And the bottom line is that, that's just kind of the way it has always been. Well, and he always likes to call me. This is kind of funny. He likes to call me when he has something in the news. He'll say, hey, did you see me on the news? My case is in the news. And I was, oh, okay, yeah, I saw you, Well, he was the public defender assigned to Precious Allen at the initial court appearance. Now, they immediately call us, and this is just whether it's fair or not, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut about it because I can tell you the pluses and the minuses, but they didn't want a public defender. They wanted to hire me, like most people in Tri-State do. So anyway, they called me, and I told them after learning the story, Chuck, went and met with them for me, and I told them, I said, we need to get this out. I said, you and your daughter are looked at right now as these terrible villains. And I said, it's stupid. And lawyers tell their clients not to talk, and then they say no comment. Now, this is 90% of the time, it's the stupidest thing in the world to do and the worst possible advice, and they give it out over. By the way, I've had conversations with members of the local media, and they love me because I give access. And they scratch their heads, too. They go, we never understand, why that's the best thing if you've got a story to tell. So I noticed that in the media, Jim had told the press, I got my job to do, the prosecutor has his job to do, and no comment at this time. Well, he gets wind of the fact that I'm representing her and that we're going on the radio with Willie. And those of you that wonder why, and Bill Spry's really cool about this, is because I make no bones about it. I want Willie's listeners to listen to me. and the more, Willie talks about me on his show. We win because he's got a bigger audience. And so Willie going to interview, and she's going to come here tomorrow. So right before she's going to go on to do this interview, phone rings. It's Jim Boggins. And he tells her not to do the interview, and furthermore tells her that Eric doesn't know what he's talking about and what he's doing. My friend. Now, later when I confronted him about that, he goes, I didn't know that was you. Oh, I'm glad you're involved. He lied. Chuck was right there, heard the whole thing. She actually hung up on him going to the interview. Now, here's what happens. Because I was flooded with texts and emails. Willie was emotional. I was emotional. Chuck was emotional. Everybody went in there thinking this is a terrible woman. By the time the interview was over, the entire Tri-State's heart was broken for her, and she was on her side. And it was like, what can we do? This is wrong. We got to right this wrong quick. And as a result of that interview, I predict, now this is very interesting, she hasn't gone to the grand jury before. Felony assault on prison. Well, what do you think the odds are of them taking that to the grand jury now? It's lessened. In other words, I saved her probably from being indicted. I would bet that the odds of her daughter getting out on Friday, which is a shame, I'm trying to get her out today, is pretty darn good. We changed the public perception immediately. Her side's out. The truth is out. We head stuff off at the pass. And guess what? I am not charging them. I mean, I'm talking about not squat. And after hearing the radio, I told Chuck, I said, Chuck, tell her she doesn't have to pay me the rest of the fee. I can't. We're doing God's work here. Now, I get criticized all the time, Dan. Oh, you're doing a media. Well, two rules. A, they agree to it. My client agrees to it. B, it's in their best interest. That freaking interview was legal brilliance and was a good thing for my client. And her lawyer was telling her, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and don't do it. Why? Well, because then he ain't getting the attention, and he doesn't have a case that's going to get indicted and go forward, so he keeps getting media and press, and that is a fact. Always ask your lawyer, is this in my best interest, or is this in your freaking best interest? I can't tell you how many times I'd love to go to trial on a case, a criminal case, but the deal gets so good, it's like, hey, man, you got to take this too. You don't think I would have loved to try the Sarah Jones trial? Ha, 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 ha. Her best interest, take this deal. And it's a good story, but it's just another example that I try. Those people that think that I'm just a big blowhard radio talk show host and I just want cases for media's sake, underestimate me. There's a purpose and there's a reason, and yesterday was freaking Exhibit A.
Mm-hmm. Eric, every relationship has to have the element of the benefit of the doubt in it, and up until you told her story, we didn't have any benefit of the doubt about who she was. I mean, I read the report in the newspaper, and I mean, you immediately put her in a frame that was not positive.
How many? I got my hand raised. How many people, by the fact that it was Withrow, and that her name was Precious, drew the conclusion?
That's right.
I did. Yep. I did. Some black woman named Precious, Withrow High School. She's a crazy lady. Come to find out, it's 180-degree opposite. She works for nuns.
I know it.
Loves Catholic education. It's incredible. We come back, we'll have some more Radio Superbity. I want to thank the good Lord for sending me Precious Allen on ClassX Radio. Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Whose birthday was the 14th? Roger Kaufman. Happy birthday, Roger. Give me Morkelstad. It's his birthday and it's Valentine's Day. And Shannon her birthday's tomorrow.
Yes. I'm bringing cupcake.
Bringing cupcake.
Chocolate cupcake.
Hey,
You're going to miss him, Dan.
Dan, you're welcome to come back. You're welcome to come back. Give us a traffic report.
In Mount Ora, there is a road closed to an accident on Highway 32. In Cincinnati, an accident on Columbia Parkway at Stanley Avenue. An accident on the exit ramp to I-74 at Coleraine-Beekman Street. A disabled vehicle on Reading Road at US 42 and Blair Avenue. A disabled vehicle on Hamilton Avenue at Blue Rock Road. And in Hamilton County, an accident on Dana Avenue at Madison Road.
All right, thank you. And, Jake, I apologize to you that I almost forgot the animal fact for the day. Maybe it's just because they sucked lately. So, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. A tarantula spider can survive for more than 2 years without food.
That's a good one.
That's a pretty good one,
That's a
Jake.
pretty good one. Give him Oracle status for that. That's a good fun. You know, people that listen to our show,
Don't blow it tomorrow.
they get a lot of great, interesting information on those fun facts, don't they? How about that with the drummer of the Rolling Stones? You know, marrying that young girl, then his son marrying her mother, and wild, weird. A couple things I want to do as we wrap up our show today. First off, just because my Valentine's Day sucks doesn't mean that your Valentine's Day can't be great. So I hope all you lovers out there have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Also, I want to publicly thank my underboss, give him Oracle status, Chuck Holbrook, who is an extension of me. He's my right-hand man, and he has really helped me take care of old Precious. You know what? You know him as good as I do. You know, Chuck just is a charming guy. Yes. He goes out there and meets my clients. Every one of my clients loves him. And what's great about it is the ones that like to text and call too much, they can call and text him, and he takes good care of them without complaint. But anyway, I want to thank Chuck. And also, we got the zoo vac. Here is something about this story. And I always use this as an extreme example, Dan, and I'd like your – I think judges see this a lot. I mean, I've been in a courtroom before, like even when I was one of the lawyers, and after the other side tells their story, everybody in the courtroom's thinking, golly. And then when you tell your side of the story, it's like it goes, I'll be sitting in the courtroom and say, man, that guy's a jerk. And then you hear the other side of the story and say, well, maybe he's not too much of a jerk. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I think judges, and as a lawyer, you got to learn about, hey, what's the other side? Now, what I always use as an extreme example, and we all do it. I mean, I admit I do it because it's just so tough to jump to conclusions. The most extreme example that I like, because it's the kind of thing that people would draw conclusions, if two people not married each other pulled up next to each other in a hotel, and they walked in the hotel room and came out 30 minutes later, everybody in the world would think, well, they had a rendezvous, okay? But you don't know that when they went in there, that one of them said, you know, I've really thought about this, and I don't want to do this. You know, I just don't want to do it. And they had a conversation, and they leave, and nothing happened. Now, you got to hope that they never have to try to explain that to their spouse. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful jumping to conclusions. Things can look exactly one thing, and it ain't so. Mm-hmm. And it happens all the time. All the time. People go to jail based on that.
Absolutely. Well, you told the story about your son sitting next to you one day and eating cereal, and you wanted to look at him and say, what planet are you from? But you gave him the benefit of the doubt, and you just said, oh, that's him. He doesn't realize he's doing that.
Right.
And how many times do we do that? I've been looking at people, reading leaders and that kind of thing. How did they get insight? Insight, some people have it, some people don't. And the two things I keep coming up with is awareness. They have a certain awareness of what's going on in the room, and then they have the discernment, the ability to say, okay, what do I need to do in this particular situation?
Right.
And that's what you're talking about when you make a response in a courtroom.
Well, John Wooden last night, you talk about how dealing with certain people, and John, this is incredible. This guy, the simplicity. Remember one of my themes always, simple is good? Mm-hmm. John Wooden's principle, so simple. He said, for example, and this is really interesting for all you coaches that just beat your kids down, Jeff Marksberry and Trent Steiner, Simon Kenton High School. He said he would criticize a player, but he goes, he always marveled how much he could get from a player from a simple pat on the back, figuratively, like a simple good job, a simple. I know when my kids were growing up, the best thing that I could tell my kids is, I'm proud of you. When I said I'm proud of you, it was amazing how that made them feel so good to hear those words, I'm proud of you. Now, the other thing I think is interesting is humanity. the Les Miserables thing, where you say, hey, this person has got flaws. My dad always called it a redeeming quality. There was one person that worked his butt off. He was an alcoholic. And my dad would always say, son, he's an alcoholic, but he works his ass off. And I can accept that. It's a redeeming quality. And there'd be some people, my dad would go, son, that guy has no redeeming qualities. And I'd be sitting there thinking, what, you're right. But and that's where you got to find the fact that, hey,
that's right.
But it's amazing how we jump to conclusions. And by the way, it's just natural. But I tell you right now, I thought it was the biggest boomerang in a local story ever or a long time is that Precious Allen story. I mean, what everybody thought and where it boomeranged. Hey, you know what? Just keep looking at your Sports Illustrated magazine. You notice how he's checked out
I do.
for the past hour? Checked out. No smart aleck comments or nothing.
Dan's here!
It's kind of been nice.
You're
No
a
Sports
pervert.
Illustrated magazine.
You're a pervert.
Oh! Now that's your date after her birthday. Remember that.
That's true. Starting Saturday.
Starting
we'll start a
Saturday.
relationship.
He's waiting till after Valentine's Day and her birthday to ask her out.
What do you think about
right?
that, Dan?
Yeah.
Said no presents. You don't have to get her.
I-
Knocking off 2 holidays.
I think
You
that's
get the
a-
max
That's
time.
probably starting off with the wrong foot.
Thank you,
Hey,
Dan.
let me tell you something.
Come on, Dan.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Damn it.
I get this because let me tell you about Dan and Randy McCaffrey's the same way. He'll say it with a smile, but you're going to get direct honesty by In other words, you think he's going to cut you some slack. He's not.
Come on, that was my best idea yet.
One thing that's great about preachers is they can tell you your woes with a smile.
That's right.
And it's easier to swallow when it comes from a preacher.
Tell me my other woes.
Randy could tell me stuff nobody else could. Chuck's another one.
Yeah.
Chuck can tell me things that nobody else can do, and I don't get mad. Like where somebody else would say it, I'd say, and I would say, that's a good point, Chuck. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
You trust the underboss.
So I'm glad he disagreed with you.
Right? The power of affirmation.
Everybody else has
Your
the
Jean
power of
Valjean-
information.
Your Jean Valjean quote.
That is a
keep it in
deep
my
show.
Pocket. Oh, I'm telling you.
Deep show.
Jean Valjean, my brother, you no longer belong to evil, but to good. It is your soul, and I am buying for you. I will
awesome.
draw it from dark thoughts, and I give it to you.
Oh, that's a
That's
horrible quote. That's terrible.
Hey, he doesn't know who Victor
That
Hugo
is
is.
horrible.
He doesn't know who Victor Hugo is. Play
Says
our song.
Victor Hugo's
Every
a
dog has their
dumbass.
day. I hope today is yours. Yesterday was Precious Allen's, and so is today.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I'm waiting for your apology, Chief Craig. Happy Valentine's Day on ClassX Radio.